Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CloudShine's Oracle Manufacturing Cloud Training Demo session. So today is day one of our demo, and let's introduce our instructor Harish. So Harish has 10 plus years of experience in manufacturing and supply chain planning implementation, and he's skilled in Oracle Fusion and EBS SCM and has completed 6 end-to-end implementations in manufacturing and supply chain planning cloud. He's also experienced in implementing Fusion from release 19B to the latest 23B cloud version. So without further ado, let's dive into today's session led by Harish. Thank you.
Till now, you would have seen how to procure the material, how to book a sales order and sell the material, how to create the inventory, and how to stock it. But in the manufacturing cloud, you will see how to make an item, how to make a finished good, or how to make a sub-assembly. So manufacturing cloud is majorly used for producing an item. Say, for example, if you are working in a factory, or if you are working in a mobile phone manufacturing industry, the raw materials are converted. Raw materials like your motherboard, display, RAM, everything will be converted to a finished mobile phone, right? The process of converting your raw materials to a finished good, that will be happening in the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. Okay. Ideally, we do have two different types of manufacturing. One is discrete manufacturing, another one is the process manufacturing. Okay. Discrete manufacturing is nothing but you can produce a raw material. From the raw material you can produce a finished good, and from the finished good you can disassemble and make your and get your raw material out of the finished goods. But in process manufacturing, once it is done, you cannot disassemble it. You can extract the raw materials from the finished good. So the examples of discrete manufacturing are your mobile phone manufacturing, your automobile manufacturing, and all. Process manufacturing, the example of process manufacturing are like your chocolate manufacturing industry or a petrochemical industry, okay, where you will have a co-product and byproduct also in the process manufacturing. So what is co-product and byproduct are? Say for example, if it is an petrochemical industry, your crude oil is your raw material, and from the crude oil you can get multiple outputs. Right, your main agenda is to get the petrol out of it. Right, so that's going to be your major primary output. But apart from that, you will also be getting gasoline, diesel, naphtha, all those things you will be getting, right? So those are all co-product or byproducts. But in discrete manufacturing, only one output you will get, that is the end item, end product. But in process manufacturing, in the manufacturing process, you can get multiple outputs, and one can be your primary output, and other few outputs can be your co-products and byproducts that you can also
Hey,
sell it.
Harish.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have one question regarding this discrete and process. For example, there is a wire manufacturing, electric cable, right? Whether it's a discrete or process.
Okay, so wire manufacturing, when you take, let us say polycab is a wire manufacturing industry. So the extraction of copper from the ore can be process manufacturing, and converting the raw copper to a wire is a process manufacturing. And after producing the wire, cutting it and packing it will be a discrete manufacturing. So only in Oracle Fusion, if you are experienced in EBS, EBS doesn't have a mixed model, but in Oracle Fusion, a single organization, a polycarb organization, can act as a discrete as well as process manufacturing. So from extraction of copper from the ore and converting the copper to a wire can be process manufacturing. Okay, and cutting the wire and packing it will be discrete manufacturing.
Okay, copper to wire also we cannot disassemble, right? Because of its sealed and all.
Yes, once copper is converted to wire, you cannot again disassemble and take out the copper, because when you make a wire, you will also add some lead and some other minerals to make it as impurity, and then you will make a copper wire.
Yeah.
Right.
Copper wire. Yeah. Okay. My point is that on the copper wire, we will have the plastic sleeve, right? Sealing.
Yes. That is also comes under a mold, is it?
Correct. Yeah. Not sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That also part of copper manufacturing. You are talking about the copper ore to wire, like extrusion.
Yeah.
After that extrusion, there may be some process which is having the sealed on top of the right.
Yes.
That how that will happen. That also a process or discrete.
Okay. So when you say copper wire, first let us see extraction from ore and copper wire molding and plastic insulation. Okay, so these things, right? Extraction from copper from ore will be process manufacturing, and a copper wire molding will also be process manufacturing, and plastic insulation on the copper wire, that is also process manufacturing. And then what you will do, you will cut your copper wires, right?
Correct.
Cutting of wire, and then packing it in a box. Okay, this will be in discrete.
Got you.
Okay, so you will have a separate work order for this one.
Okay, where we will call it as batch in Oracle.
Batch. Yeah, in Oracle EBS world, you have batch, and also in Oracle EBS world, what you have formula,
recipe,
you
formula,
have routing, and you have recipe. Inside the recipe, you will have validity rules, and all those things will be there. And for the resources also, you will have resource information, generic resource, plant resource. Those things will be there, right? But in Oracle Fusion, it has been simplified. You don't have formula recipes. Yeah, in Oracle Cloud, you don't have formula, recipe, routing, and all. It's not there. It's all eradicated. And what you have is the work definition. Okay, directly you can create a work definition. Work definition is nothing but routing. Okay, directly you can create a work definition in the Oracle Process Manufacturing Cloud without creating the item structure. Which means that without creating the formula itself, you can directly create a work definition and mention what are the ingredients you want inside the work definition and resources that you there is. And also scaling is also available when compared to Oracle EBS process manufacturing. Scaling is also available in Manufacturing Cloud. Okay, but we have made so simplified way of doing things in the Manufacturing Cloud.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Because we don't want to confuse between discrete and process management. Even though if you say in ABS world, discrete and process manufacturing, formula is nothing but what are all the ingredients that are needed, which is more similar to bill of material. And routing is nothing but what are the operations are needed. That is also more similar to discrete manufacturing routing. And recipe will contain formula version, routing version, and some validity rules, right? So that is the process. That's the recipe. So in cloud, we made it as some more simplified way, not to confuse between formula, recipe, bill of material, routing, and all. We made it as just you can go ahead and create a work definition that is nothing but your routing and assign the ingredients directly in the work definition. And also you can mention your co-product and byproduct directly in the work definition itself. Okay.
Work definition itself will carry the co-product and byproduct. Okay, yes. Is it same for discrete also? Work definition is the place, or it's for routing and bill of material?
Okay, let me show you the difference of process and discrete manufacturing. So what happens is in discrete manufacturing, item structure is nothing but VOM is mandatory.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Alberto. Good morning. Good evening. Okay, in discrete manufacturing, item structure is mandatory, and work definition is also mandatory. Okay, but in process manufacturing, item structure is you cannot create an item. You can create an item structure, but you cannot assign the item structure to work definition. You can directly go ahead and create a work definition with main product, co-product, by product, and resources. Okay, and the important feature here is we have a mixed model in Oracle Fusion, which means that the same organization. So as like we have seen here, right? If it is a polycab organization, same polycab organization can be discrete and process both. In EBS, we will not be able to do it, but in Fusion, same organization can act as both process and discrete manufacturing. So for extraction, in the same organization, for extraction of copper from ore and molding and plastic installation can be in process. And after the plastic installation is done, this can also feed it to a discrete manufacturing work order, and you can prepare the box and sell it out. Okay, that process we call it as mixed model of process and discrete manufacturing.
Yeah, thank you for details. Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, so let me give you a glimpse of what is the difference between EBS manufacturing cloud and process, and what is the difference between EBS manufacturing and cloud manufacturing. So EBS manufacturing and Fusion manufacturing. So what is the difference here? So EBS will have organization and then department and the hierarchy. And after the department, you will have BOM, routing, and work orders. BOM, routing, resources assigned to the department, and then your work orders. Right. In Fusion manufacturing, what we have is we don't department has been replaced. The organization is still there, and below the organization you have work areas, and then you have work centers. Okay, and BOM comes under the module BOM itself, but here in Fusion manufacturing, BOM, or the term is called item structure, which will be in the item attribute. Inside the item attribute still we can create the bill of material. And routing is called work definition here. And then resources here, the resource will be associated with the department. But here in Fusion manufacturing, resources will be assigned to work center. And then you have the work orders. And also in Fusion manufacturing, you will have some sophisticated, visually appealing analytics like we have product genealogy. And for the OSP process, you will have a supplier detail screen, supplier operations detail screen. So where you will have it's a comprehensive screen where you will see all the OSP outside processing steps in a single screen. Okay, and for consumption of the materials and all, it's same like EBS. You have to go to a review dispatch list and consume the materials. Push pull, everything is going to be same. For the for the people who doesn't know or who doesn't know Oracle EBS, they're very new to Fusion. No need to worry. I'm not going to in the sessions. I'm not going to go to Oracle EBS and explain everything. From the first class, I will be seeing only the Fusion screens. Okay, I have just given a comparison. If some of the candidates are already worked in EBS and want to convert to Fusion, so this comparison will help. But if you don't know Fusion, nothing to be worried about. I'll be giving you from the scratch. I'll be teaching you on the Fusion screens. Okay.
I have one doubt here. So,
Yes.
are the features of Oracle shop floor manufacturing like split, merge, all those available here also? Or is it a separate module within this? Specifically for semiconductor manufacturing, where they use this lot split, lot merge.
Yes, lot split, lot merge, and all is there.
Okay.
It is there. It is an inventory management concept. It is still there.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
So what is the work center or work areas are similar to department resources, is it?
So, yeah. So when you say organization, right? Let us say, it's okay, semiconductor organization, right? Let's say Foxconn. So Foxconn is an organization. Inside Foxconn, what you have different areas. Foxconn is an contract manufacturers, right? For Apple and Motorola and all, they are contract manufacturers. Let's say you can have a different work area for Apple and different work area for Apple work area, and you have a Motorola work area. Okay. And inside the Apple work area, you can have different work centers like Apple Charger Work Center, and Apple Phone Work Center. Okay. Ideally, the departments in EBS is converted to Work Center and Fusion. On top of that, you also have work areas. Where work areas defines the production floor, and Work Center defines the production line.
That is production floor. Okay.
Okay, I should be having a clear picture to show you. Let me check. Yeah, here it is. So we have the manufacturing plant, and you have the production floors, two different production floors, work area A and work area B. And below that, you will have work center, which is the production line. Okay. And then resources will be assigned to work centers. Okay. And the resource can be a shared resource also. A single resource can be assigned to two different work centers as well. Okay, which means that it's a shared resource. So in work area B, you will have two work centers, work center B1 and work center B2. And B1, you can assign some resources, and the same resources can be assigned to work center B2 also. And B2, you can assign some of the labors or equipments.
Okay. Something like okay. What is the difference here between the work center and resources?
So work center is a production line. You are just defining a work center, which is like a department, and below that you are creating a resource and assigning it to a work center.
Okay.
So when
the production line means a sequence of resources that will go from the material will, like our manufacturing material will move from one resource to another resource in a production line. That is called as the work center.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. So if you have seen a real manufacturing flow, right? So
Right.
here you can see this can be defined as a work center, it's a production line. Or
Right.
Here you can see the technicians are the resources, and see they are working on a line, right? This line can be a work center. This is a production line. And there can be multiple production lines that can be addressed as work area. So as of now, you can see that they are working on a TV, right? On a television or LED TV. So LED TV manufacturing can have 4 different production lines. This is one of the production line. Similar to that, you can have two or three different production lines. All of them can be grouped into a single work area. And this same factory will produce not only television, it also produce washing machine also. Maybe it's an Samsung manufacturing industry. So not only the television, it's also produces washing machine. So washing machine can be another work area, and inside the washing machine you have several production lines which are called work centers.
Yes.
Yes, I think this animation depicts a clear picture of it. The entire floor can be defined as work area, and each line here can be defined as work centers. Is it clear?
Yes, it's very clear. Yeah, thanks, Harish.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and one more important thing here is even in the EBS or cloud in process manufacturing or district manufacturing, I have seen a lot of doubts coming up from the clients on the lead time roll-up calculation, lead time roll-up formula. Okay, I'll be giving you a clear. So, what is lead time? First of all, is the time taken to produce an item or time taken to purchase an item. That is called lead time. Okay, in Oracle Manufacturing Cloud, the calculation of manufacturing lead time is done by a scheduled process. Okay, once you submit that process, automatically all your lead time will be calculated and posted in the item attribute. Okay, so that calculation, that formula is a kind of a black box, and we have went to vigorous testing on it and derived the formula for it. I will also show you in the class how the calculation of manufacturing lead time is going to happen inside the Fusion screen. Okay, and this roll-up is also applicable to EBS, but as far as Fusion is concerned, we have tested in Fusion, and we have derived the formula for that as well. So I'll be explaining you about all these formulas in the class.
Okay.
That will give you a clear picture of how the lead time is getting calculated using work definitions.
Okay, we have the same item attributes like pre-processing, processing, post-processing,
yes, exactly. Pre-processing,
okay.
Processing lead time, post-processing lead time, fixed lead time, variable lead time, cumulative manufacturing lead time, cumulative total lead time, and lead time lot sizes.
Okay,
all these things we will be explaining. And for OSP outside processing, what is meant by outside processing is inside a work order. Say for example, in the engine assembling manufacturing, you assemble the engine, but you have to paint an engine. Painting of engine is a sophisticated process which your manufacturing facility doesn't have that kind of tools in with you. So you will send the engine to a third party external supplier, and supplier will do the painting and give it back to your organization. So that is called outside processing. So for that outside processing, discrete is going to behave in a certain way, and process is going to behave in the configurations of processes is different in Fusion. Okay, both discrete manufacturing OSP and process manufacturing OSP, I'll be showing it to you. Okay. Okay, and we will also be seeing different types of work orders, which is in Oracle Fusion. The types of work order we have in Oracle Fusion is standard work order, non-standard work order, rework order, and transform work order. These are the 4 types of work order that is available in Fusion. That also will be showing it to you. So what is the standard work order is? You have a work definition and item structure ready. It has been configured. From that work definition, you want to create a work order. That is a standard work order. So first of all, what is the item structure and work definition is those who are very new to manufacturing. Okay. So item structure is nothing but the components that are needed to produce an item. That is called item structure. And work definition is how you are going to produce an item. What are the operations involved? Okay, say for example, item structure is, say for example, if you are producing a laptop, item structure will give you, to produce one laptop, you would need a display, motherboard, RAM, hard disk, and the list goes on, right? Screws, nuts, and all. Okay, this is the required component. And how many components you need? One display, one motherboard, 2 RAMs, one hard disk, 10 screws, 10 nuts, and 2 speakers. This is the required usage. To produce one laptop, you need one display, one motherboard, one RAM, 2 RAM, one hard disk, 10 screws, 10 nuts, 2 speakers. So these details will be displayed in the item structure. Whereas what is meant by work definition or routing is, so you have all these components ready in your warehouse. So how we are going to produce it? It is not like, okay, take the screw, take the nuts, tighten it, take the speaker, insert it. It should not be a random process, right? It should follow a certain procedure. A manufacturing should follow a certain procedure. First one is to get the motherboard and place it in a casing, and then screw it, and then take the RAM, place it in a casing, and then screw it and close the casing, and then insert the display. And there should be a process flow. Okay, so work definition depicts all the process flows of it. So in the work definition, what we have operations. Operation 1 will say, okay, assemble the motherboard, and hard disk together in the casing. And then you will, after operation 10, operation 1 is done, only then you can start the operation 2 and say, with this operation 1 completed material, add the RAM into it and speakers to it. And the operation 3, you will say, insert screws and nuts. And in the operation 4, you will say, packing. So it will be packed, all the laptops will be packed in a box. So here it will say the sequential step to manufacture item. Item structure will only depicts the what are the components needed, how much of quantity is needed. But work definition is the one which will tell you what are the sequential steps that need to be followed to accomplish the finished good of laptop.
Yeah, work definition is same as routing, is it?
Yes, work definition is same as routing. Yeah, in EBS world we call it as routing. In Fusion we call it as work definition. Item structure is also same. It is nothing but the bill of material.
Okay.
Okay, and non-standard work order is something. Okay. So standard work orders, you have this item structure and work definition ready, and you want to create an item. So you will create a standard work definition by mentioning the work definition name. So it will automatically pick all the operation item from the work definition configuration itself. But non-standard work order is a order where you want to create an work order on the go without item structure and without work definition. You just want to create a work order, and inside the work order you can create operations and what are the materials you need. You can add it inside the work order itself. It's a non-standard operation. This will be majorly used for NPI builds, new product introduction builds, or research purpose, where you don't want to create any item structure, or you don't know you don't have any defined item structure or routing, but you still want to create a work order. This non-standard work order will help. Okay, then rework order. Rework order is nothing but if you have a finished good ready, like if you have your laptop already manufactured, okay, and you see that the hard disk is malfunction, and you want to replace the hard disk. So we can take out the hard disk from the work order and insert a new hard disk. Okay, so that is a rework order. So that can be possible in the rework order. You can create a rework order. You can consume the material from the finished good inventory, which is defective, and then you can take out the hard disk from the laptop and insert a new hard disk, and then you can process it. So the laptop will be ready to use. So that kind of a process can be accomplished in rework order scenario.
What if that malfunction is identified during the work in process? Like I assembled it, the item moving to the next stage, but I'm finding that is faulty.
Okay, so if you that will come under the inspection, right? The inspection rejected, and it will go to the scrap or some other sub inventory. And if you want to
That
rework
specific component, okay,
yeah,
that component will be can we scrap it on the work in process, like discrete we scrap, so that we can scrap. I mean, I need to, as we said the example, one of the component is defective, right? Maybe we have to return, or we cannot move it to scrap, I think, the assembly, because this is only one part is defective. Maybe we
yeah,
have to return and get a new one, and then
yeah.
that will be scrapped.
After you can after consuming it to the work order, you can return to
Okay.
the stores, or return to the defective sub inventory, and then you can consume a
Okay.
new one.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
And transform
But we can capture the defects, like assembly defect inspection and all. We can capture the defects on the assembly defects on the work order also. Is it like, say, assembly is damaged, whatever I produced, or something like that, or any problem? Do we have a column to capture as a scrap on the production? Let's say out of 10 I produced, 9 is okay, 1 is scrap.
Yeah, that can be captured.
Okay, for both discrete and
yes,
process.
yes.
Okay, thanks, Iris. Yeah.
And transform work order is a interesting feature where you transform one finished good to another finished good. Say, for example, you have two different phone, say, or two different laptops, like Dell 1010, which is a laptop version, and you have another version which is called Dell 2020. Okay, if you say the only difference between these two laptop are you will have a in Dell Dell 1010 you will have RAM as 8 GB, and here you have RAM as 16 GB, and you have a hard disk, or you have a processor as i5, and here you have the processor as i7. So these are the two difference between i10 and i20. All the rest of the components are same. If you have an older version of this Dell 1010 in your warehouse, you cannot scrap it, or you cannot sell it to the market, because it's already obsolete in the market, right? So once it is obsolete, you cannot sell it in the market. And but your Dell 1010 is ready in your warehouse. The only difference is these if you change these two components in Dell 1010, it can be converted to Dell 2020. Okay, for that purpose, what you have this can be converted from Dell 1010 to Dell 2020 by using a transform work order. This can be achieved by a transform work order. So in the transform work order, we can mention in the transform work order is a sophisticated screen where you will see what is the from item and what is the to item, and inside the transform work order you can define which item has to be replaced to which item. Once it is done, this RAM 8GB will go to the store sub-inventory. Processor i5 will be going to the store sub-inventory, and from the on-hand quantity of processor and RAM, these two components will get consumed against this transform work order, and the output product will be till 2020. This can be achieved through transform work order. Okay.
So that RAM 8GB and the processor, that will go to the store sub-inventory. Okay.
Store sub-inventory or whichever sub-inventory that you are mentioning inside the
wrap or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be going. And from the store sub-inventory, RAM 16GB and processor i7 will get consumed against the transform work order. Okay. So those types of work order will be being.
Yeah, something it is new. I think it's very good. Yeah.
So just to give you a glimpse of how these screens look like, so this is a screen of a work definition or the routing, I would say. So this 10 and 20 are the operations, and these 5 are the raw materials required. This is the resource required, and these are the screens of how the operation creation looks like. So let us see about the overall interaction of manufacturing cloud to the other modules. So we have this manufacturing cloud module, which will be interacting with product model for the items and item structure and item attributes and lead time details. For all those things, it will be interacting with the product information management module. And planning central or supply planning or production scheduling. This is the planning central module, which will consist of planning central, supply planning, production scheduling modules, where it will try to get the work order from manufacturing, Oracle Cloud manufacturing, and based on the demands like sales order or higher level work order demand, it will try to schedule the work order. Or another way, in the supply planning, we'll try to create a work order from this based on the demand. Supply planning will send the triggers to manufacturing cloud to create the work order. Okay, say for example, you have a 10 quantity of sales order for the laptop. So anyway, we have to create a 10 quantity of work order also from the supply planning. So supply planning will have a suggested work order for 10 quantity, and that can be released from the planning to the manufacturing cloud to create the 10 quantity of laptops in manufacturing cloud. And obviously, Oracle manufacturing cloud will be frequently interacting with quality management. Okay, for the rejections and approval of quality, it will be interacting with it. And purchasing, for the purchasing, Oracle manufacturing cloud will be interacting with the purchasing module to in the OSP process, in the outside processing process, it will be interacting with the purchasing module to trigger the purchase requisition, purchase order, and on the receipt of the purchase order to closure of the operations, it will be interacting with the purchasing module. Supply chain orchestration is a new thing in Fusion. I mean, in the EBS world, it was not there, but in orchestration, the supply chain orchestration is there in the cloud. What this orchestration will do is it's a central hub for creating or distributing multiple orders. Say for example, if the planning center or supply planning is releasing a work order, it is triggering a signal to create a work order. It will not come directly to the manufacturing cloud. First, the signal will go to order orchestration, and the order orchestration will ensure that all the necessary data for creating work orders is available or not. And then order orchestration only will instruct the manufacturing cloud to create a work order. Okay. Same way, when you are trying to perform an outside processing operation, the creation of purchase order, creation of shipments, and receiving of the purchase order, everything will be done by order orchestration only. So that's going to be a central component where it will try to distribute the data among different modules. Okay, and your back-to-back order or your drop shipment, everything will be carried out by order orchestration only. Okay, supply chain common components. These are all the base level of functional setups, like your organization calendar, manufacturing plant parameter, manufacturing calendars, another attribute of the plant. All those things will be saved in the supply chain common components or functional setup and maintenance area. Oracle Manufacturing Cloud will be interacting with these functional setups. And cost management is again an important thing in Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. So Oracle Manufacturing Cloud will work on the standard costing. So where you can create a costing for all your resources and components and the finished good as well. Sorry, you can create a standard cost for the components and can roll up the cost to the finished good. Okay, so after completion or the closure of the work order, you need to know what is the cost that has been happened to produce this particular FG, right? So the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud's responsibility ends when you produce an FG, but the costing will come into picture to derive what is the cost involved in manufacturing a particular component, manufacturing a particular finished good. Okay. So that will come under cost management.
So that is covered in our agenda, is it? Costing,
yes.
inventory foundations and all.
Yeah.
Manufacturing costing and all.
Yes, manufacturing costing will be covered. So
okay,
we'll not
that's
go in
standard and average. Okay, or OPM. There were different costing in OPM and discrete. I mean, right, bit different, yeah. And here we are having some unified, or it's different.
Here we have a standard costing for manufacturing cloud.
Okay. Standard costing. Okay. All right. Yeah. We don't have the average costing and the actual costing and all.
Average costing and actual costing is there, but that can be used for inventory management and all. But for manufacturing, you can use the standard costing only.
Okay, manufacturing you can use only standard costing.
Even though you have average costing and layered costing and all,
right?
Actual costing and average costing is there, but for when it comes to manufacturing, you have to define the standard costing for the component and then roll it up.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. We can understand. Yeah. We will see able to see only the variances.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, okay, and receiving. Okay. This will also be coming under the OSP process. Once you receive the quantities in the purchase order, the OSP purchase order, then the equivalent quantity of operation will also get completed in the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. So for that, it will be interacting with the receiving module. And inventory management shipping, yes. For the consumption of raw material, it has to look into what is the inventory available for the components. And if there is any reservation has been made against the manufacturing cloud work order, then it has to consume only the reserved component, reserved lots or reserved serial numbers. So for that also, it will be looking into the Oracle inventory manufacturing. And for shipping details, yes, if it is a Oracle, it's an outside processing, then you have to ship out a material against a work order. For that, shipment will be interlinked with the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. And after the completion of work order, the end item has to be produced and saved in a sub inventory, right? So for that also, Oracle Manufacturing Cloud will interact with the inventory management to save the finished good in a particular sub-inventory. And for material transaction, reservations, pick slip generation, and movement of pick slips, and consuming the materials, and posting the finished goods, and sending out the material for the OSP process to the supplier. For all those things, it will be interactive with the inventory management and shipping modules. And Oracle Manufacturing Cloud can also be interacted with third party. In many of my Oracle Cloud implementation, I have seen that Oracle Manufacturing is integrated with the manufacturing execution system. Okay. So for that, you will have a couple of ports here. One is FPDI, file-based data import, and another one is REST APIs. So based on with these two ports, you can import the data and export the data from Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. If you are integrating your Oracle Manufacturing Cloud to any other different third-party system or MES system or any third-party legacy systems, then through REST APIs and FPDIs, you can import and export the data. For exporting data, either you can use REST API or OTBI or BIP. OTBI is Oracle Transaction Business Intelligence, and BIP is Business Intelligence Publisher. Through that, you can extract the data. And for the importing of data, you have FPDI, which is file-based data import, and then REST API to import the data. So the middleware can be OIC, Oracle Integration Cloud, or it can be MuleSoft or Azure, anything it can be. Okay. Yeah, so key entities or work areas, work centers, resources, we have seen all these things. I have given you a glimpse of it. And yeah, resource can have a manufacturing calendar, and based on the manufacturing calendar, it will try to derive the resource availability. And resource utilization and efficiency is one of the configuration inside the resources. We will also see what is the formula behind configuring the resource utilization and efficiency. Okay. This we have already seen in the previous slide, how the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud is going to get interacted with the other module. Okay, while defining the bill of material, what are the key elements in or key attributes in bill of material that will be showing it to you? So bill of material is nothing but item structure in Manufacturing Cloud. So while defining the item structure on field by field, on for each field, what it means, everything I'll be explaining you. But these are all the key fields in the item structure: usage quantity, inverse quantity, item yield percentage. What is the supply type? Supply type, we have operation pull, assembly pull, push, supplier, bulk, and phantom. Okay, all those supply type will be explaining. And supply sub-inventory is nothing but from where the inventory is getting consumed against a work order. That is supply sub-inventory. That also we will see. And substitute components, again, an important feature. Many industries like semiconductor industries majorly will use a lot of substitute components. If one component is not available, what is the other component that we can make use of it to run the production? That is substitute component. How to define a substitute component and how to make use of substitute components, that also will be seeing it. And production priority against a work definition. Say for example, a single finished code may not have only one work definition. It may have multiple work definitions in picture. In real time, it may have multiple ways of producing an item. And for that, you can define different work definitions with the production priority. And production priority 1 will be the primary work definition, and our production priority 2, 3 will be the secondary work or the alternate work definitions. So lead time calculations. These are all the lead times that will be calculated in the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. Pre-processing lead time, processing lead time, post-processing lead time, fixed lead time, variable lead time. Manufacturing lead time is nothing but the processing lead time for manufacturing item. Cumulative manufacturing, cumulative lead time. So all these lead times are calculated when you are trying to roll up the run the job, which is called lead time rollups.
Yeah, but compute lead times were usually using then rollup will be done.
Which one?
For compute lead time, which will process the pre-processing, post-processing, and processing.
Yeah.
Then usually we do the roll-up lead time, which will roll up from item lower, like from subcomponents to the final assembly.
Yes.
Okay. Here we have the same kind of two steps,
no,
or
we have only one
different.
step.
Okay.
So
that should be fine. We can see it later. Yeah. I just asked. Yeah.
So it is in the process name is.
You mentioned some schedule process. Okay.
Yes. The exact process name is a roll-up lead time for cumulative manufacturing and cumulative total lead time. So this is the process name. This is the only process that you can run to derive the lead time. If you run this process, then it will try to derive the lead time and load the lead time for all these types of lead times.
Okay,
and great. I will also explain you what are the formulas behind all these each lead timers. So I processing lead time for manufacturing lead time is fixed lead time plus variable lead time multiplied by lot size. It's a simple formula, but for cumulative manufacturing, cumulative lead time, cumulative total lead time, we do have some complicated formulas. That also I'll be explaining it to you. So because the cumulative total and cumulative manufacturing lead time will consider the lower level components lead time also, and it's going to compare it on the same operation level, which is highest, and then there is an offset days involved. So yeah, there's a complicated formula that we will explain. Okay, types of work order. Yeah, you have just seen a glimpse of it.
Correct.
So this is a screen where you will create a work order. So in tomorrow's demo, let me show you the Fusion screen, how the things looks like, how the item structure looks like, how the work definition looks like, and how the work orders, how to create a standard, non-standard, rework, and transform work order. All the basic level of navigations I'll be showing it to you in tomorrow's demo. Today is just an introduction of what are the things that we are going to cover. Okay, this is what I was talking to you about, the transform work order, where your Dell 5480 is converted to 6000 by removing one item and adding another item. The rework order also we have just seen it. So these are all the screens, how it looks like. So here you see that for the rework order, you are adding the end item as one of the component to it and removing one of the item and adding another item to the same work order. So ideally, in the standard or non-standard work order, you cannot add the end item as one of the component in the work order. But only in the rework order, you can add end item as one of the component in the rework order, because you are actually consuming an end item and then you are reworking it, right? So for that purpose, the consumption of FG itself as a component is possible in rework order. That is one nuances of it. Yeah, all this transactional things and all, we will see it in the in our class.
Right.
Okay, this is outside processing flow. So right from creating the blanket purchase agreement and right from creating the OSP item, all those configuration end-to-end comprehensive configurations, we will be seeing it in outside processing. But from defining the configurations, defining the item structure, bill of material, creating the work order, BPS, purchase requisition, purchase order, shipping, receiving, all those things, the sequential step, we will be seeing it in the outside processing OSP classes.
That are different for both OPM and
yeah, it's slightly different.
Slightly different. Okay, got it.
And, okay, there is a concept of contract manufacturing that's that has been introduced in Fusion just 1.5 years ago, I believe. PTOs, CTOs, all
What is mean by contract manufacturing?
So contract manufacturing is nothing but you will ideally in the industry 4.2, what you're seeing right now is you have Apple, right? You have Apple phone and Apple laptops and all, but Apple doesn't own any manufacturing facility. All they own is their research facilities and designing facility, but they don't own any manufacturing facility.
Okay.
Many companies are going to this approach. They don't want to own the manufacturing facility. They want to completely outsource their manufacturing to a different vendor.
Right.
It's not like OSP. It's like only one operation will be outsourced. It is like a complete outsource of the manufacturing process result to a vendor, and the vendor will take care of all the manufacturing and all, and the original equipment manufacturer only concentrate on the designing part and researching part. Okay, for that purpose, you can create a different organization with the supplier side enabled in the organization, and enable that organization a contract manufacturing organization that is nothing but a supplier side. So work order creation, consumption of materials, everything will be in the contract manufacturing organization, that is supplier area. You can have a track of what is going on in the supplier area, but still in the Oracle Fusion Cloud, you will see that as a contract manufacturing organization. That's a virtual organization. So the process flow here is you will from the order management or from the supply planning, your work order for contract manufacturing will be triggered, and SEO is nothing but supply chain orchestration will create the work order in the contract manufacturing organization, and the contract manufacturing organization required materials can either be transformed through a transfer order from OEM to the contract manufacturing organization, or contract manufacturer itself he can procure it from the supplier, and once the finished good is done, he can ship it out to the OEM, or he can ship it out directly to the end customer. Okay, so here also you will have as like an OSP service item, here also you will have contract manufacturing service item. But yeah, that's a complicated whole scenario. It cannot be explained in a single slide. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what is OEM?
OEM is original equipment manufacturer. Like if you say Apple is the OEM, original equipment manufacturer. Okay. But contract manufacturer can be your Foxconn or Confi who are building their phones. So Foxconn is your contract manufacturer, and Apple is the original equipment manufacturer, OEM.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good details. Yeah.
And then we have CTO configure to order items. Okay, so CTO, you can see how to configure the CTO, but working on CTO is majorly on the sales order part. So I can just show you on how to configure the CTO, configure to order items, how to create option class, how to create options, and how to configure it. But when it comes to work order level, the trigger has to come from the sales order.
Correct.
Okay. So,
but we can create the config item and sales order and create the work order, right? That we need to see whether is it not. Okay.
Because we can define the configurations, and once order comes, based on that it will be picked. Work order will pick. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Right. Based on the mutually exclusive or options flags on the bill of material, usually that it will appear in the configuration screen. Then the star item will get created on the sales order. For that star item, the work order will get created.
Yeah.
So that is the CTO. The CTO or then the supports are ATO and PTO. Assemble to order,
pick to order. Yeah.
Right. We will be seeing those.
Yeah, we'll be seeing those.
Okay.
So Hari, just one question. So we will be seeing like what are the formulas behind this configure to order? Like because it's a quite complex module. As I know that.
If you want to see the formula and all, that will come under CPQ. it's completely a different module. But we will in this I mean, we are majorly concentrating on the manufacturing cloud. So apart from that, these things I will show you how to create the CTO bill of material and how to create.
Yeah, you will be showing at least one sales order with the component, one store item created, and for that work order created. For some dummy.
Let me check whether we have any all the configurations ready in the order management screen. If that is so, we can create a sales order and try to create a star item and create a work order. But if
but just to differentiate what is ATO and PTO, it would be helpful if you can show it in the sales order form only. And then also we will have provision to. Then once you have sales order only, we will able to create the work order.
Yes.
Right.
CTO is like that.
For dummy. Yeah. We don't need to go very deep in the sales order side, but we need to have that to demonstrate the work order of the CTO.
Okay. So basically, this item structure and work definition, because all these are dynamically created in the configured to order.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the rules behind this dynamic creation of item structure and definition? Will that be part of manufacturing or it is part of sales?
Yeah, it's a part of OM.
Okay.
Normally, it is my understanding is when we have the store item created, it's like both together, right? There will be item created and it will copy based on the bill of material and routing we have set up. It will be copied from that bill of material only, from model item, right? From the model, it's all controlled mostly from the way we defined the bill of material. That's how the options are mutually exclusive, and the Phantom, how we configured based on that only it will be the options will appear on the configuration screen. Only thing what will happen in order management is they will be able to choose the option. What option to allow or disallow also decided in the bill of material. I mean
in the sales order configuration.
They will just it is only they will select it, but most of the things are controlled from the BOM bill of material and the work definition and the bill of item structure. I would say. Sorry, I am using the old terminologies. Item structure and work definition. Yeah. Okay. It's it's good to see that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let's see whether I can show you the complete flow. If not, I will show you how to create the CTO.
Yeah, but it is working commonly. Generally, we have the setups. If not, it would be better if you can show it in the. If we have any constraint, you can show us in the public cloud also, where all the setups are available for all modules, even with seeded values.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we did in previous SCM session as well, for some of the things. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see whether the order management configurations are there.
Yeah, sure. It's there. Yeah, we've already seen it. We have already seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are we going to see anything on process manufacturing side as well?
Yes, we are going to see process manufacturing also.
Yeah, that's very niche skill in the market. Yeah.
We will cover both process and discrete manufacturing.
Fine, thank you.
It is just the architecture of costing. Okay, so you have legal entity business unit, and inside cost organization will be associated with all the inventory organization, and you have primary cost book, secondary cost book, and ledgerless cost book. Okay, this is just the last 2 days of the Oracle Manufacturing Cloud class. We will also see what is the configurations involved in costing, and how to create a standard cost and how to roll up the cost for the Oracle manufacturing items.
We will see the transactions, how it is getting credited or debited for the individual transactions?
You will not go to the ledgers and all, but
Not
you will see
ledgers, like
variances.
yes, WIP value summary. You can say that
Yeah, the
in the
variances we will
earlier
see.
thing.
Yeah.
Various and summary. For example, we are consuming the raw material. That means some cost getting debited or credited. These are all sometimes common interview questions.
Okay.
What is and like which cost is getting credited, credited, debited, and when you complete the work order, the finished goods gets created. What are the what are the accounts get credited and debited, something like that, high level. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, that will be appearing in mostly in the WIP value summary and variances. Um, okay,
Okay.
you can show that. That would be helpful. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me show you that as well.
Sure.
So this is the job which will be running to transfer the transaction and create distributions in the costing. And also I'll be showing you what are all the backing tables involved in Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. So EGP is the backend table which will be majorly used for item attributes. So item structures, system items B, system item, EGP system items B is for items and item structure, item attributes, and EGP system structures B is for bill of materials or item structures. And all the backend tables which are starting with WIS is the configuration tables like work center, work areas, resources, operations, and there is another set of table which is called WIE table. WIE table will show you all the transactional, will store all the transactional data like work order operations, work order resource outputs. All those things will be saved in WIE. And in manufacturing cloud, we don't have any separate table for process manufacturing. Both discrete and process manufacturing are saved in the same table. But whereas in the EBS world, we have different tables for process and different tables for EBS. So different tables for discrete and different tables for process manufacturing. Those FM tables, GMB validity rules tables, those are all there in EBS, right? And formula table, recipe tables, and all is GMB recipes B. Those are the EBS tables. But here we don't have any different tables for process manufacturing. We have common WIE and WIS table where it will get where in the same table you will see process manufacturing as well as discrete manufacturing data. But the only difference is you will have a field which is called work method. The work method, it will depict whether it is a process manufacturing data or discrete manufacturing data. So these are the WIE tables.
Hi, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Sean here. I would like to know the manufacturing, it's a DRP, MRP and DRP, that process is there, or directly from sales to work order conversions, that is the manufacturing is available over Oracle Manufacturing Cloud. I sorry, first of all, that is I have been joined just now. I forgot that is your timings and all those things. So just joined this. I don't know that is what has happened before. So just want to know that MRP and DRP and how that's your.
So here from in Fusion, we don't have organization level MRP, but we have a separate model which is called supply chain planning. In this supply chain planning, you can release planned orders to a work order. So the work order creation can happen from the supply planning, which is an MRP planning.
Okay, what I'm asking that is when your MRP has been run, then it will be that messages will be acted by the purchase first, right? Or purchase whoever maybe that is, or the planning department act the messages, and that will be circulated to your purchase department. Is that process that is there, or how this things will be?
So in the supply planning or in the MRP planning, The recommendation will be for both work orders, planned work orders, and planned purchase orders. So the buyers will release the planned buy orders to create the purchase order. And
no,
the
my
production
question,
plan.
my question is something different. That is, I just put forward my question.
Hmm.
Any manufacturing organizations, first the sale is their base point.
Yeah.
Right. When the sales has been booked in the system, and for that sales there is no material, or this material means something that is they will run a MRP for that.
Yeah.
Then only they will come to know, that the planning department will come to know the messages that is for such and such item, that is what is my inventory currently and what is missing in shortage. So accordingly, they will act on the message. When they are act on the message, the shortage will be if there is any shortage, they act the message. If there is any shortages, that will be going to the purchase department. They will raise that. Accordingly, the purchase department will act on the message that is my lead time is on such and such lead time, and your delivery will be on such and such date.
Yes.
Is that process is clear, right? In cloud manufacturing. I'm just asking. This is the process that is I understand about the manufacturing. Any manufacturing industries, this is a base process. Is that process is exactly that's matched with the Oracle manufacturing crowd, or there is something is missing over here? Just I'm asking to understand. Just understand.
So whatever all you are expecting, it is there in Fusion Cloud. But the thing is, it is differentiated into two different areas. One is manufacturing, another one is planning. The review of shortage. And so once you create a sales order, right? Once you will be creating a sales order, which is an independent demand. And then you will be running the MRP. What you're saying MRP is the supply planning in Fusion. And just once you run the supply planning will see what is the sales order quantity. Say, for example, this 100 quantity. So whether the bill of material has been created or the item structure and work definition is already exist for that item. Based on the item structure and work definition, it's going to throw you a suggested work order. And from that suggested work order, it will see what are all the components available, what are the components required, and whether all the components are available or not, and how much is the shortage. For the shortage quantity, it's going to trigger a signal which is called planned order for the purchasing. We call it as planned purchase order. So that will be done in supply planning. Okay.
Yeah, understand.
Manufacturing cloud will not run the MRP. Not only in Fusion. In any of the EBS or any of the other legacy system also, when you see, manufacturing will not run the MRP. MRP is a different session where it will run and throw you all the suggestions.
Yeah, understand. MRP has to be, I know there is MRP if you run MRP, that's fine. And also there is one more question. Without MRP, that is, can you manufacturing the sales order into work order?
If it is a back-to-back item, yeah, there is a linkage between sales order to work order.
No. But apart some companies doesn't want to implement MRP. That's the process, the process, MRP process. They doesn't want to implement. So the manufacturing companies, what they used to do that whenever the sales order comes up, they will convert into sales order into work order. So is that available or not? Just to understand.
Yeah, it is available. There is a specific sales order called back-to-back sales order. Okay. In that, your sales order will be linked to your work order.
Okay. Then in that case, how do they will calculate the lead time for that production, means the delivery? So
your sales order date cannot be changed based on that, unless you are using a GOP. There is another model which is called global order promising.
Okay.
If you use GOP, then GOP will look into what is the availability of the material, and what if the material is not available, what is the lead times for it?
Yeah,
what is the sourcing? With all the strategy, the GOP will promise
that supply chain. I was in that class, so I know that process. Understand now. Thank you. You can carry on.
So the supply chain planning, is that? So we are not going to see it, is it? I mean that how it will look like, that releasing from the workbench the work order.
Yeah, releasing. Yeah, we will just see the glimpse of, because supply planning is again
not in detail. I agree. Yeah, correct.
Not in detail, but just releasing the work order from supply planning to manufacturing.
And running the plan. Okay.
Yeah, running the plan, seeing the release of.
Frankly speaking, it is not a vast area. Analysis is vast area. ACP or the supply chain planning is very small area. which is just it has the plan, then we run the plan, which collections and plan, it give the result, we are going to release it, right? Nothing else.
No, it
Even
seems
the
to be
same
like
thing used for the GOP also.
it seems to
That
be
is
like the configuration are very simple.
correct.
But
Analysis is deeper, yeah.
and
I
we
agree.
have very different ways of doing it. We have constraint mode of planning, unconstrained mode of planning.
Correct.
There are a lot of
Yeah.
engine algorithms are
Correct.
there.
EDD, yeah, enforced mandate and all. But
Yeah,
we don't need to
EDD,
go
SAP
to that
compatibility.
deeper level. But the MRP run and all, if you are going to say, that would be really helpful. How to release, just to one of the standard thing, where even unconstrained or something, just running a plan and see the release the work order
Okay.
from the from
Okay,
the
that we
planning
can do.
workbench. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. That would be helpful.
Okay, yeah, that we can do.
All right, thanks to everyone for taking part in today's session. And let's come together again tomorrow for the continuation of the demo session second day. Have a nice day.